Christ compels you.
Fallen angel exorcist on the rise, wreaking havoc, see the fear in your eyes. Beneath the surface I'm the rage you can't tame. When I come for your soul there's no one else to blame. Got the power of the fallen, can't deny my strife or redemption.
PokéKyle now running straight into the match against Brian, the Banshee, and Xorcist, knocking both of them to the floor. Now going and getting Xorcist back up as Jester J watches in the background, just lurking. Brian the Banshee, though, immediately comes in, knocks PokéKyle around. Then Xorcist now pushing him around. Brian the Banshee shoving and punching at PokéKyle. Xorcist now punching at PokéKyle. Punching again. PokéKyle whacking back, though. Punches him in the head, knocks him into the wall. Brian the Banshee watching on, but quickly PokéKyle turns on him and starts beating him up. Xorcist knocking PokéKyle to the floor, stomping at the head. Brian the Banshee now beating up Xorcist. PokéKyle watching the action occur as the camera still pointed at him telling him to move the camera. Jester J now interfering, breaking up the pin that Brian the Banshee had on Xorcist. Xorcist hits a hand splash on Brian. Then PokéKyle knocks over Xorcist. PokéKyle now stalking Brian. And the camera bugged out. That's annoying. But PokéKyle is knocking Brian the Banshee to the floor. Now getting mad at Jester J, who's working on in this match. Xorcist now going for the pin. PokéKyle realizing it and breaking it up before the count can even start. Brian back up on his feet now as Xorcist lays there on the floor. PokéKyle now shaking Brian the Banshee's hand and kicking Xorcist straight into the wall. Now punching at Xorcist as Brian the Banshee watches on. PokéKyle grabbing at Brian the Banshee. But Brian the Banshee going back to beating up Xorcist. PokéKyle throws him into the wall. Throws him into the other wall. And then Brian hits him with the scissor flip. Now stomping away at PokéKyle. Elbow drop. 2 count there. PokéKyle quickly kicking out. Xorcist now throwing Brian back as PokéKyle walks over. Jester J clapping for PokéKyle, though. PokéKyle now shoved to the floor. Jester J again sarcastically clapping for PokéKyle. Xorcist knocked Brian to the floor. Brian elbow dropping PokéKyle. The ref mistaken as he is a new ref. Now that was a pin. PokéKyle quickly kicking out before he can hit 3. Xorcist going for a move, but PokéKyle catches him, throws him to the floor. Brian now stomping away at Xorcist. Stomping over and over again. Kicking him in the back, PokéKyle running up and kicking him in the stomach. Shoving Jester J to the side as Jester J keeps being annoying. Jester J again helping to break up the pin. They must know by now that as long as Jester J's are there, there's no way to win. Like, no way PokéKyle could win this match. PokéKyle taking a step back and relaxing while Brian and Xorcist fight each other and giving him a break. Jester J, though, following PokéKyle. PokéKyle comes in, breaks up the pin before it can hit a 2 count. PokéKyle now shoved into the wall. Getting stomped at by Xorcist. Brian taunting at the camera. Now Brian stomping away at PokéKyle.
We're all kind of having fun. Hey, PokéKyle.
Jester J now stomping at PokéKyle. Brian and Xorcist swinging each other's arms around. Brian smacking Xorcist around. Elbow drop to to Xorcist. Xorcist quickly kicks out, still on high alert. PokéKyle knocking Brian to the floor. PokéKyle picks Xorcist up, drops him on his back, picks him up again. Suplex to Xorcist. Jester J still sarcastically making remarks to PokéKyle. PokéKyle now stomping away at Xorcist. PokéKyle now throws Brian. PokéKyle knocking Jester J to the floor. Laying Xorcist down, but now focusing on Brian. Brian thrown into the wall. Brian trying to get back into the action though, but falls over just short of the mark. PokéKyle going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And your winner is PokéKyle. PokéKyle now helping up Brian. Patting him on the back, and that's it.